I need y'all to be so effing for real right now. This is the size that you want? Bigger than your head? That's what we're looking for? It's gotta be 8 inches. It's gotta be 8 inches. Bigger than my head? And I get DMs, can you handle this 8 inch? No. Let's be honest. No, I don't think I could. Like, do you want me to respond and say that? I don't think I've ever seen one in person over like 6. And honestly, I've been fine with that until I start talking to girls and they're like, 6? That's tiny. Are we supposed to be bleeding on it every time? Am I doing it wrong? I think I would have hemorrhoids, to be honest with you. And before you comment and be like, oh my God, pick me behavior, I'm genuinely asking. I'm genuinely asking right now.
So let me get this straight. You're willing to spend all your money and go broke on a female that is broke to prove that you're not broke. You see where we're having a disconnect?
Do you know why women watch Netflix with subtitles?
I don't know. Maybe because they don't understand some words.
No, because they don't know how to listen.
Oh my God, stop!
Who would have called you, I guess, for the second date?
Actually, it was somebody by the name of Ashley. She said that you're ghosting her and she has no idea why.
You know, you heard that little laugh that he did. It's because modern women do this thing to where, you know, I don't know why you did it. I have no idea. I had a fantastic time. They never really step back to analyze and understand how the date went.
Yeah, Troy. Clearly your phone's working. What did I do
Locked.
that is like so bad you couldn't call me back?
There she is. That's Ashley.
Yeah, she's there.
Okay, so yeah, this is why, Ashley, you're like one of those girls that just loves drama. You love to fight. Anything that I said. I mean, it was exhausting, and honestly, I didn't even want to spend any more of that evening with you.
Dang.
Really, I'm difficult because I want to know why you ghosted me and that I'm dramatic. Excuse me.
No. So he said, this is why I didn't want to talk to you anymore, is because you're basically doing the same thing tonight, right now, that you were doing on the date. You're not listening.
How dare I question a man? How typical. Oh, wow.
Okay, I mean, here I didn't even have to really do anything. You guys see this, right?
Exactly.
Did I even say anything about questioning a man?
Nope.
She literally just wants to fight about everything. She twists everyone's words. I mean, and I just honestly was like, I could not wait to just take her home.
Well, excuse me. No, you're the bad guy here. Like, I didn't do anything wrong.
He is completely... And this is what these modern women do, right? I didn't do anything wrong. You're the bad guy. And, you know, fair to her for coming out and actually saying exactly what she means, because most modern women would take a long time. They would take 4 to 5 minutes to go around the way to say how bad he is. They would go into detail and explain how much of a terrible person he is. She just came straight out and said, no, I don't want people to think or maybe lead them down the path and to, you know, probably suggest that they drink the Kool-Aid or drink the water in this example. I want them to know that I'm forcing them to drink this water. Which, like I said, some modern women, they would rather force their truth, their reality down your throat. And some modern women would rather take a more subtle approach, a more deceitful approach to getting you to believe their lies.
Please continue.
Okay, yeah. So let me just start just even picking her up from her house. So I see her walking toward my car. I get out to open the door. Get out the door. She shuts the door and says, I can get my own door.
What? No, she didn't. Are you serious? She said.
I mean, like I said, man, these modern women are going to talk themselves straight out of a relationship. They don't even have to. It seems like it's effortless. Like it's just second nature.
Yeah, I was very thrown off by that.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I'm not like a child. I don't need a strong man to help me with a car. Like,
She is
So she just kept telling me stories a lot about how she doesn't need a man, which is great. I
Strong,
love that she's
independent woman.
self-sufficient, but it was just like she was so obsessed with letting me know that like I wasn't even really wanted, or she didn't or want to know anything about me.
Did you hear that? And this is what most men continue to say. Most men continue to say the same thing. It's not that she's independent or self-sufficient. I love that about her. It's not that she, she's educated and she makes money. I mean, she's making more. My girl making more money than me. That's what some men will say. Shoot, man. I mean, my girl be taking care of me. But it's the fact that some of these women, they continue to, they continue to, let me say it like this. When they see or they feel as if a man is not groveling before them enough, then they have to elevate themselves. Okay, I can see that he's not going to do it right off the bat, probably because he doesn't know me. You're not thinking about that. Well, I got to do it, and I got to elevate my value in his eyes, which is where the makeup comes in sometimes, right? And I know you're doing it to look good and look pretty, and I appreciate all that, right? You're doing your hair, and you're pushing up your chest a little bit, and you're accentuating your curves. I appreciate all that. I understand the psychology behind it. You're really trying to appeal to this man, right? But at the end of the day, the man does have to, number one, A, think you're attractive. Number two, you have to get along as friends, right? And so when modern women go away from this, when they think, oh, I'm just going to put it on my looks, my face card never declines, and they see it declining, then all of a sudden it's a problem, right? I'm reminded of a time where, once again, I was talking to a young lady and she sent me a picture and I hadn't gotten a chance to respond to it. So within that time period that she wanted me to respond, she said, hey, you didn't respond when I wanted you to respond. You didn't respond like I thought you would respond. And so we went into a back and forth about that. Needless to say, after maybe about a week or so, that conversation was over. So, yeah, she's following right in the pathways of a lot of these modern women out here, where if you don't lift them up or you don't do as they say, if you don't recognize me as a strong, independent woman, then I'm going to make you recognize that. And if you don't recognize that, then you're done to me.
I did want to know about you. I just was expressing that I didn't need you, like in the sense of like a woman needing to rely on a man.
Now would be a great time to apologize and say I had a misunderstanding. I'm sorry.
And that's why you ghosted me. It sounds like you're a little insecure.
Of course.
Why would you actually want to go out on a second date with Troy if you don't need or want him?
That's what we're wondering.
Yeah, of course I wanted to go on a second date. I'm just saying I don't need a man. And it seems like you're taking his side, the man's side.
We
like,
are.
what's up with that?
Well, it's not that it's the man or the woman's side. I'm just,
Common sense
On
side.
it like it is, man. It's
Yeah.
facts.
All right, so obviously there's not going to be a second date. This is going nowhere at all.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
definitely not.
Well, thank you for your time, Troy. We're sorry that we bothered you.
And you can see once again that they have in fact taken the man's side. The woman, probably the radio host, female radio host, is probably the most over it. She's probably the most done. And that's par for the course with a lot of these ladies that used to be girls, female dating coaches that have exited. Kendra G, Mrs. April Mason, those types who have been trying to coach women, but they see, man, these women are really difficult. These men were right in treating them the way they did. And it's not to say that a man should talk down to you crazy or just, disrespect you. But the way these men are not approaching these modern women, the way they're avoiding, straight up ignoring, not coming out the house, not buying any drinks or really offering anything to these modern women, not helping at all, I can see why. Because they're very difficult. And a story like this just continues to highlight what a lot of men have been seeing.
3 days ago, the person I thought I was gonna marry broke up with me. Obviously, this is only day 3, so I don't expect to be happy. But, they always say to just distract yourself as much as possible, but no matter how much I work, I can't even focus on my job. I bought my favorite wrap. I'm starving, but I can't eat because I'm just so sad. Every place that I go that once felt safe just doesn't make me feel comfortable anymore. It's so weird. Every place I go gives me anxiety. Just the plain fact that I'm not with the person that I loved just pops up in my head consistently. You're not alone. I feel alone all the time, no matter how much I stay busy. I miss him, and then I'm mad at him, and then I'm confused.
I've seen all these TikToks that are like, I broke up with my boyfriend because my husband would never do that. What I feel like I found in dating, I've gone on all these first dates where it's not doing something horrible that I'm like, my husband would never do that. It's not being as, my husband would be a bit more cool than you. The way, the other day, a guy asked me what's my favorite TV show, and when I told him, he goes, Score. He said that to my face. That like hurts my feelings that you think I would like that. Or that it's like, you're talking like a Disney character right now. I'm like a little bit scared. That's not funny. It's so annoying. It disgusts me. So that's my thing.
She joking. I know this is a joke, so I'm gonna let her have it.
I'm making peace with the idea that I may not have a black daughter-in-law to continue and carry my last name, right? And it really saddens me to come to that conclusion, but I refuse for my son, my black son, to be mistreated, taken advantage of, viewed as a predator, dangerous, harmful by a black woman. I refuse. And as hard as it may be to come to that conclusion, the reality of it is I want him to be with a woman who treats him right, despite her skin tone. Despite that, I want him to be with a woman who loves him, who appreciates him, who he appreciates, who he loves, who he has no problem taking care of, who he has no problem being with, who does have a problem being with him and seeing him for who he is. But black women, too many are hateful, envious, nasty, and spit nothing but negativity onto black men. And these black women are raising their black daughters to share the same hateful mentality that I don't want my son subjected to or my family subjected to, because this is not right. It's not right at all. It's very, very sad, quite honestly. But I'm making peace with it. I'm going to pray about it. I'm going to really pray about it as I do any other time. But it's about being treated right. That's what it's about.
Yeah, I think you should. I think there's a lot of black women out there that are good people. They listen. You know how to follow directions. They know how to be nice, fit, feminine, friendly, that whole 9 yards. Obviously, we all have things that we struggle with, both men and women. But yeah, man, I don't know if I would give up on it. I think there are a good number of women, black women, that still act like they got some common sense. I've been around a few. Obviously, both sides of my family educated for the most part. It doesn't mean that they're not crazy. It's just they know how to act like a normal human being. I would say for the most part. Sometimes people make bad decisions. Sometimes people do things that you don't want them to do. But that's life and that's people. So yeah, I would say I do understand, because when you see so much of this stuff on the internet, on TikTok, on social media, you're like, man, I don't, especially for the women who have sons, and for the men who have sons, it's like, man, I'm gonna teach my boy to stay away from that. And for the women who be in these conversations, what some of these modern women don't understand is that you have mothers like this sitting among you in the beauty shop, shopping in Target, scrolling in the mall in the perfume section, just smelling perfumes, and you're acting like this. And then they come back home and like, man, I saw this or heard this, and is this what we're doing out here? Is this what some of these ladies are doing out here? And they're saying to themselves, I will never allow my son to do this. I will go down swinging. I will never allow my son to be put in a position like this, to be made to feel like he has to spend an exorbitant amount of money or to expend himself in a ridiculous way just to get her attention, just to get her to even like make a sound in his direction. Not even turn her neck to look at him because he's such a peasant to her. I refuse to allow my son, sometimes to the point of him darn near cutting me off. And in that instance, I'm thinking about, there was a Netflix documentary. You want to know how far parents go? There was a Netflix documentary where the young lady and her sister were in a dance club or whatever it is. They were dancing and doing TikToks and stuff like that. Got a chance to do some other stuff and collaborate with some other creators and moved to another place. One continued dancing just as normal, and the other one kind of continued dancing but started getting into some weird stuff, and then just cut contact off with the family. Long story short, the parents continued contacting, searched all around, went to another city, drove around, just hoping that they would find her, and they did. And she had to say, if you contact me again, I'm going to cut you off, yada, yada, yada. If they'll do that, looking for their daughter, just to make sure their daughter isn't hurting or their daughter isn't in any danger, imagine what other parents out there who love and cherish their kids very much are going to do when they see in their face somebody else trying to take a hold, trying to take their son or their daughter for a ride. This is what a lot of, even though they don't say it, this is what a lot of modern women, or excuse me, this is what a lot of women like her are going to say, that have seen the game. She's married, that have seen the game, have heard it, and seen y'all bragging, oh, you're not going to do this to my son. And even the most nice, the nicest women, y'all keep this up, they might, you make them mad enough, they might be ready to put hands on you. So modern women, I'm just saying, y'all be careful out there.
My kitty cat just got absolutely destroyed in the back of this car. I look like a freaking homeless person right now because let me tell you, when I say I was like at the bit, I was at the bit ready to go and my man was nowhere to be seen. I was like, I need it. Like, I need it right now. Like, I am on the hunt. He was like, well, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to finish work for a few hours. I'm coming. I literally threw on like my trackies and I was like, I'm heading your way right now. Drove to the parking lot, messaged him. I was like, get your out here right now. Anyway, fair to say, he gave me an amazing railing and it was so worth the drive. Now I'm going to go home and eat some ice cream, watch a movie and wait for him to come home and give me a second one.
Somebody in the comments said most people have stories like this, but they keep them within a small group of people, like close friends or their partner. Your kids might see this when they're older. Fair point. That being said, I don't think a lot of men would have a problem with this.